you were able to see me make different decisions based off if I'm working on a responsive website, mobile, tablet, desktop sizes, and if I'm working on a mobile app and how I would approach it differently if it was a hybrid app or if it had like elements of native iOS versus native Android, because with hybrid type of development, you're able to kind of make adjustments based on the device that this is going to be developed for. And now we're going to move on to the tablet app, and I'm just going to build an iPad app for this. Because the use case that we have in here, it's going to be the main flow of the daycare sitters tablet app. So something that this company is going to have, it's going to have a couple of tablets available throughout the daycare, which allows the sitters to quickly check in and out the dogs that arrive or leave the daycare. So you already know that this is going to be specific to one type of device that the company is going to choose and build for. So if it were Android tablets, you would just design it for Android. It's not like a mass use type of app. And therefore, we can really ensure that it's going to be working stellar on this devices that this daycare is going to have. And another thing, even when you're building designs for like iOS and Android, it's a lot more common in the industry to actually be building designs for iPad apps than it is for Android tablets, because they're just so more common. I've never really seen Android tablets kind of kick off and really become a true competitor to iPads. So yeah, as a designer, you're also going to be looking into what devices are more popular. And again, you're seeing me now copying the iPad mini screen size. As long as you're building your designs in a way that it's going to support the smallest screen there is, you don't really have to think too much about the larger screen. So if you make things scale with auto layout as they're supposed to, you can just easily kind of show how this app is going to look like on a really large device. Now, one thing that you've noticed, I've only used the other typeface, that's a serif one on the responsive website side. I'm not really using it too much on mobile app, tablet app, and so on, just because it's more of a decorative typeface than it is the one that's kind of legible and helps you get the work done. And in here, you can see me showing how this segment and control is going to look like. One thing that I do like to do with segmented controls on iOS or iPad apps, as they're so rounded, I do make them kind of go out of the main frame a little bit. And that's something that I think we already discussed in the course previously anyway, but there are a couple of places where you want to make visual adjustments to ensure that it feels more aligned. Even though it's not mathematically aligned, it's visually more aligned, because a rounded element like this with a straight element like this, it's going to feel like they're actually more aligned by having the rounded or circular elements go out of the main frame a little bit. So in here, I've built the top header bar. I want to add a little bit of a background in here, and I'm kind of testing it around again to see if I like it or not. And that's something that you're going to be doing a lot as designer. You're going to be figuring out if this feels okay or if it doesn't feel okay, and why. And in here, I'm trying to think of a way to maybe make this bar either stretch from one edge to another edge of the screen, or keep it centered. iOS apps usually have things centered like this, like you see it right now. And if there's a lower amount of items, it would be even more centered. But one thing that I've noticed is, like, do I really even need bottom navigation? And I think I decided against it, just because I felt like this app is going to be really simple. It just needs to allow you to check in a pet and check them out. So I decided against the whole background and against the navigation on the bottom, because it just really needs to have a list of all of the pets, all of the dogs that are not checked in, and allow you to check them in by clicking one thing on the screen, hopefully, or allowing you to check in multiple or check out multiple pets by having some kind of an option for that as well. So what I'm going to be building in here is a list of all the pets, and I'm still exploring. Like, I felt like maybe since I had green in here as the background element, maybe that's going to work for all of the pets in here as well. But you're going to see me switch that quickly because it felt like this entire screen would end up being green entirely, and I actually want green to be the color that's going to draw attention and like, yeah, this is something clickable, like tap me, instead of just like filling in the entire screen with a colorful element. So in here, I went back. You can see me remove all of the roundness, and I'm slowly going to be adjusting this entire element to figure out if maybe something else is going to be a better way of doing it. But yeah, as you've most likely already noticed, design is going to be a lot of exploring and going back and forth and seeing what feels like it's going to work for this product. And in here, I quickly made a search bar. I could have used the input fields that we already have in the doggy daycare library for the search, but I went against that just because search is such a dominant element in iOS and iPadOS apps that I felt like it needed to be a little bit different. So I built it custom, but still it feels familiar to all of the iOS users. If you're one, I'm sure that this search is going to feel like something that you will know how to use instead of it just being an element that feels new and something that you need to learn. Okay, so what I'm kind of quickly noticing in here is that the round element is not going to work, as I've said, and also the green element is not going to work for the entire list of all of the pets. So I think quickly you're going to see me basically go against everything that I've done on this green area, and I'm going to replace it with the actual item. In here, I felt like the check mark was almost like too bland and falling into the background that I'm using, and also all of the green elements make it stand out less. So I actually decided to bring in the button again, and it's just going to say check in, and I'm going to remove the icon because the text is going to be enough for that. Now you can really see that that's the dominant part of this entire element, and that's the part that's kind of tappable and you want someone to tap it. And in here, I'm adding that stroke that I already mentioned for the pets, and trying to figure out, like, is it better if it just stays white? And I felt like it is better. I just need a separator so that I can have a list of all of these items one below the other as needed. And yeah, that was just like one change, but it quickly made the entire element look better, and it just made the check-in button stand out, which is actually the goal of this entire screen. So yeah, I'm just making a couple of quick adjustments to ensure that this is going to be looking like it's supposed to, and I'm making it fall into the grid, and yeah, this auto layout should be working. You can recreate it as I'm building this, like, don't worry, pause when you need it. It's just like a couple of actions that I'm doing. Some of them are just going back and forth, so sorry about that, but that's how the process looks like. And you can see me just like duplicating this a lot of times to ensure that all of the pets can now stay. One thing that I'm gonna do is just kind of, you can use a plugin to name all of these pets. What I wanted to ensure happens is for all of these dogs to be named alphabetically, so that the developer who's going to be working on this immediately knows that, oh, I'm going to sort them alphabetically, so that it's really easy for the person who's searching for the dog that they want to kind of check in. for them to be able to quickly find them. And if the name is something that's going to be on the lower part of the screen, it's really easy for them to search it by using the search. So basically the entire point of this application and this search is to kind of build a quick way for the workers in this daycare to just kind of check in the pet that they're looking for. And now I'm going to switch to the second screen. Again, kind of design the main flow requires me to do some adjustments in here to showcase all of the different things that you would need to do. So even with a simple app like this, that's like just checking in and checking out, there's still the ability to add a new pet. There's still the ability to maybe go through some settings, go to the checkout screen. How does that process look like? What if someone is late? What if someone is early? Do you allow them to check out? And in here you can see me looking at a community in Figma, which is the best resource there is for a native iOS model, which is like the pop-up that we're gonna have in here. And you can see me using the kind of the blur to create the effect that iOS usually has with notifications. So in here, like once you click check in, like, are you sure you want to check in that pet? How does that look like? I wanted to add that confirmation in here because it's going to be the thing that's going to charge the pet owner because they've used up 1 day in their subscription. So I just wanted to ensure that that happens. So that's why I introduced the pop-up. It's kind of a destructive thing in the flow. It's really stopping you and making you think. So use it carefully. And in here you can see that I kind of remember the fact that, oh, actually we're going to have a checkbox in here. So I've brought in the checkbox and I've replaced it. And I've replaced this entire flow so that we have a selected and unselected checkbox in here. And I'm just kind of placing those in a couple of spots. Just because it felt like maybe if it's like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or like sometime where a lot of pet owners would come in at once, it might be easier to just kind of check them all at once, especially with the prompt that we have that kind of requires you to confirm that you want to check this pet in. If you have to do it a lot of times in a short period of time, maybe it's best to allow for multi-select and multi-check-in at once. And in here you can see 8 dogs selected. Some of the names are already visible in here, so it kind of gives you a sense of who you're checking in. And also it allows you to do that action really quickly with just one tap instead of like going to tap and then confirm that you want to do it and then tap again and then confirm that you want to do it. So that's why I wanted to make this a part of the flow, even though like it's nowhere in the requirements, but hopefully it gives you a sense of my thinking and like how I'm trying to solve for a UX problem in here with just one design. And in here I just duplicated the screen and changed the copy so that it will like change check in 8 dogs instead of just 1. And then another thing that I want to do in here is I want to show you how I would create the checkout. Again, since I was just like building these components really quickly, I didn't envision these being switchable, so I just had to break the component in here for a second, but I would make the change into the library as well to allow for checking in and checking out and like the left and right option to be selected and unselected. And in here, I quickly changed the copy to check out just because of the way I've built all of the components. So you can see in just a couple of seconds, you're able to create an entirely new screen really quickly. I wanted to use the same label that I had in the mobile app for the iPad app as well. And now I'm going to be deleting a couple of these items in the list to ensure that we have like a break on the checkout screen, because this allows you to see which ones are kind of supposed to be checked out right now. So in here, checkout scheduled within the next 30 minutes. So most likely those are going to be the pets that you're going to be looking into checking out quickly, while all of the other ones below might be the dogs that you need to check. Oh, honestly, yeah, check out overdue. So there's a couple of pets that still haven't been checked out, which are the most crucial ones. So you want to keep them on top, and you want to make sure that like they're really standing out. So that's why these are red. And all of the other ones are the ones that you're going to be checking out in the next 30 minutes. And then below that, there would probably be a label that says like check out scheduled for today or something. So that it really makes the screen work for the user and not the other way around. Like if I move to the checkout, I already have the most crucial ones on top and all of the other ones below. And that's what you're supposed to be doing as a designer. So in here, as you can see that I've kind of added a contact button that's going to be, that's going to allow the worker in this daycare to quickly notify or contact the pet owner if the checkout is overdue a lot. And I'm trying to figure out if checkout is more prominent or if the contact is more prominent, but just a couple of things that I would be thinking about as I was designing this is now shown to you in this video. So yeah, hopefully you've seen me make some different design decisions because this was an iPad app and not a mobile app, and you can see me using different size elements and all of those things based on the fact that I'm working for a different context of use. Hopefully you'll find this helpful, and let's now switch to the wearable app. It's going to be a shorter video because again, a wearable app is something that you're just gonna get notified about and tap on, but yeah, that's for that video.